Good evening. I have a new Nikon D3300 camera that I have been using for astrophotography, but it has a movie recording mode that should allow me to shoot in 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is better than what I can shoot with my iPhone. So I'm going to try shooting this with the D3300 and see how it turns out. So what I have here are my two miniature rovers. The one on the right is much further along than the one on the left. The one on the left doesn't even have any sensors on it yet. So both of them, both of these rovers have have dual LiPo packs. So this one is made up of 18650 batteries that add up to 12 volts. So I can have 12 volt power coming out of these packs. This one is a 3.7 volt 6600 milliamp hour battery that will drive the computer. So this one drives the motors and this one drives the computer. On the miniature rover, the packs are set up where the everything is sitting on the computer battery, and the motor battery sits vertically next to it, and this is all held on with rubber bands and Velcro. The small one is this one's actually in testing mode. So what I'm doing is running it around in the family room and letting it map the space ultrasonically, because this is the one sensor that it has that's held on with not very well with Velcro, and it's a rangefinder, so it bounces sound off things and measures how long it takes for that sound to get back to the rover, and then it makes decisions about where to go based on a random walk and the distance reported by the sensor. There are some bugs in the program still. There are certain modes where it will just sit and spin rather than identifying a direction that it should go. The large rover that I'm still working on has a servo mounted right here, and I'm going to put another rangefinder on this servo so that it rotates around and can basically have a wider field of view. The sensor and the sensor mount are coming from China though, and they haven't arrived yet, so it'll be a little while before I can finish this one. The other difference is that this uses the Adafruit Feather M0 as the primary controller, and this one is using a Raspberry Pi 3 as the primary controller. The Pi 3 is more powerful, but the M0 is easier to program because the environment uses the Arduino environment, and it's a little easier to program controllers and things like that require fine-grained timing, because the timer on the Arduinos is a little bit better. So on this rover, I have the battery packs. I have the ultrasonic sensor. I have the M0, a GPS, an OLED display, and the motor driver. And those are all stacked together and driven off of the same power supply. On this one, I have a power supply, which is the Adafruit Power Boost 1000C, which will basically take power off of the LiPo battery, and then it boosts it to 5.1 volts and 1 amp out, which is enough to run the Raspberry Pi microcomputer. The other lithium-ion battery pack will run the motors. because the Raspberry Pi doesn't have enough juice to run the motors. So these are my two experiments. The other one is that I have is going to be a lot larger. It's going to have solar panels. It's going to have a 12-volt bus and a 5-volt bus. I would show it to you, but it's just a spaghetti of wires and computers and rangefinders and things like that right now. It's really not in a condition that I would want to show it off. This one is should be getting some graphics results off of this one pretty soon. I might put a camera on this one as well and transmit images back to some monitoring computer. This one sends the ultrasonic distance and its GPS coordinates back to a Raspberry Pi that sits here in my bedroom, and it will collect all of the data that come off of this machine, and we'll pipe that into the R statistical analysis program that's running on my laptop, and it will generate a three-dimensional sound map based on the data sent back from the machine, from the rover. The rover is going to have to run for a long time in order to collect all of the data, so I'll probably have to change battery packs and recharge things and let it run. It's rather entertaining. That neither the dogs nor the cats are very entertained by the autonomous robot running around in the family room, but making a lot of progress on that. So stay tuned, and if you like the videos, hit the like button, and I will keep making them. Have a good evening. I hope you had a good Labor Day weekend, and we'll be making another video later this week. Thanks a lot.